about that weather, eh?
I know, it's been cold, it's been sunny, it's been... No, I don't even understand. Have you been under there the whole time?
Yeah.
Ah, welcome. Happy Canada Day, eh?
Happy Canada Day, A.
So what do you love about Canada?
There's many immigrants in this country like yourself.
Oh, I didn't know.
I was born here.
I'm the immigrant.
Makes sense.
Hey guys, we're back.
After a while.
After a while, we took a little bit of a break, regrouped, tried to think of some stuff, and then other stuff happened, and
Yeah,
we're
life
back.
Thanks for being there, even though when we weren't being there.
Yeah,
we
of course.
appreciate you.
It's like, yeah, we're away, yada yada yada.
We're back now. It's okay. We're like a bad boyfriend.
You keep crawling back. No matter how big of an asshole we were.
Exactly.
I have the Cat Came Back theme song stuck in my head now.
Nice.
Thanks to you. Yeah.
Yes. So
Happy Canada Day.
yes, happy Canada
150
Day.
years.
We are drinking out of Canada cups.
Well,
Drinking the most American beer because Eric forgot to go to the liquor store. He's like, oh, we're just going to drink
it's
Budweiser.
not even alcoholic. It's non-alcoholic, and I couldn't find anything else. So.
Well, in the
We're just being enterprising. That's all it is. And I like how
We're just being a bunch of hosers, eh?
I'd rather be a hoser than a Hoosier.
That's funny.
All right. So for today's plan, I guess we're gonna go through some
Canada Day paraphernalia.
Yes.
To make your Canada 150
Special. We're going to talk about our favorite things about Canada.
Yeah. Like the fact that we live in Canada.
And also the fact that when now, with Roll Up the Rim, instead of saying try again, they slapped you in the face by saying Happy Canada 150.
Yeah.
Camera guy, can you zoom in upon this? Show the viewers, please.
We don't have a camera guy.
Yeah, we don't have it.
All right.
That's
Damn.
just a shadow you're looking at over there.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the table.
Huh.
Or-
I've got some examples. Well, I mean, at least what Dollarama thinks this country is good for.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
The good old Canadian
So-
paraphernalia.
So let me ask you guys what you think. What is the first thing that comes to your mind when you think about describing Canada to someone who's not Canadian?
Living in an igloo, riding your moose down to the office, having a maple syrup tree in front of your house.
Wow. You could get any more cliches into that.
Of course, yeah.
That's good, yeah.
What would you
Bagged milk if you're in Ontario. Wink!
what would you give someone who's not Canadian if you were to go there on a vacation? If you go to a different country on vacation and you take them something Canadian, what would you take for
Oh,
them?
you mean like what my mom does every time we go overseas?
Yeah.
A small suitcase filled to the brim with maple syrup
Apple syrup.
from
Yeah.
Kirkland, from all places.
Well, Dollarama doesn't think that you would give maple syrup to anybody overseas.
Do they actually have maple syrup at Dollarama?
They probably do. But what they think that you want to give everyone you know overseas is the Canada gift set, which has a pen, a carabiner with the compass,
Nice.
and a little...
Keychain that
It's
straps.
No, that's
it's
not
an
a keychain.
eraser.
Is it? I'm pretty sure it's an eraser.
Just
Yeah.
a rubber keychain.
Wait, no, it's a magnet. It's a
I
magnet.
thought that was an eraser.
That's
for a
even
second.
better.
Yeah. So it's a Canada magnet, which has got some stuff on the back of it.
Probably the
Kinda
glue.
gross.
A carabiner with a compass on it, and a pen.
Does it stick to my beer can? Damn it!
Let's see if this pen actually writes.
It probably doesn't, like every other Dollarama pen.
Nope.
It probably doesn't even have. There.
Oh, it does. It does a little bit. Nope. There we go. Yeah.
Don't blame Dollarama. I mean, blame China. That's where these all.
I think
products
one
are
of the
coming
greatest
from.
Canadian things is the fact that nothing is made in Canada anymore.
Yeah. Well,
That's
the
Like
terrible.
I'm pretty
thing
sure
to
what
say.
our cups looking at is made in
They're
China.
made in China
Yeah.
as
It's
well.
already cracked here. I don't know about your guys' cups.
So that means we
My
should
cup's
be
open.
bringing back
manufacturing jobs to Canada. Yeah.
Let's make Canada great again.
Well, this box doesn't say anything about being made in China, so
really?
yeah, it doesn't say anything. On
If
there.
it's from the Dollarama, it's either from China or Turkey.
Probably.
Why Turkey?
I don't know. They have tons of stuff that's made in Turkey.
Just because.
Just because.
What else do we have from Dollarama?
What else do you think would you could describe Canada?
Box of
as?
Timbits.
Box of Timbits. Dollarama doesn't think so. Dollarama thinks that a flexible booklight
Ooh, nice.
is what describes Canada.
Is it batteries included or batteries not included?
I don't know. Let's have a look. The
Yeah,
only
it probably just runs on hope.
so the only thing that differentiates this booklight from this Canadian booklight from a regular booklight is the Canada flag on the back.
Very nice. Oh, no, and it's red.
And it's red. But like the front of it's like it's $2. It's a flexible booklight, and there's a little watermark of a Canadian flag in the background. But that's it. And then it tells you not to mix new and used batteries. Do not mix alkaline.
Keep harm away from children. That's on pretty much everything.
And nickel cadmium batteries. And they've got it in French as well
There's
because
nickel batteries?
you always have to. It's oh my god, this takes a lot of power. This takes 2 CR2032 batteries.
Ooh. Well, you gotta be nice and bright.
Yeah,
There's no
yeah,
point in
it is.
having a light that's not bright enough or you can't read.
That is true. So it's a little silicon thing,
Are
and
you
then
going to return these after you're done with them?
I don't think you can return things to
No,
Dollar.
final sale.
Yeah, they're all final sale.
I know what you're getting for Christmas.
There's always going to do that.
Who cares? His birthday's coming up
Yeah,
soon
my birthday's
anyway.
next week. On the 4th of July, you get a bunch of Canada paraphernalia. Wow, Rizal, you thought of everything.
So
A
thoughtful.
Canadian magnet, a carabiner with a compass, a pen that doesn't work, and a booklight. Just what I always wanted.
I just knew that's what you wanted.
Cheap asshole.
We've been friends for so long. It does work though.
Ooh, very nice.
Yes. I think we should check this out to see how well it works with the lights out. We'll do that later, but we'll check how well it is with the lights out.
Now, I can just imagine that somewhere in Germany there's the Dollarama version in Germany, and they got the exact same thing with the German flag, except it's like instead of red, it's just black and yellow.
No, they've got one with the German flag. They've got one with a picture of Munich, and they've got another one that says Oktoberfest on the back.
Yeah. So we'll see how well this does when the lights are out. And last but not least, the Canadian poncho. Because what screams Canada?
I didn't know that was one.
That
More
guy's
than a poncho.
power stance on the back. That's just like he's rocking out.
He is rocking
He's
out.
rocking out with his cock out, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Rain, get at
He's
me."
got.
Wow, that is an awesome stance.
It's just
But
an
my
amazing
favorite
stance.
thing is though why is the
cloud.
cloud
Yeah.
smiling?
The cloud's winking. The cloud's
Winking at
like,
everybody.
yeah.
This is a sadistic cloud. It's just like it's pissing on your day, and it's fucking smiling at you on
Yeah.
top of
The
it.
best thing about this too is this Canadian poncho is probably going for $10.50 at Niagara Falls.
Yeah. Yeah. Except for that cloud. That cloud is.
It's a mean cloud. I don't know.
That cloud gives a new name to a golden shower. You mean like legitimately?
Like, the first three things that come to your mind when you think of Canada, what would they be?
Our overall kindness, obviously. Well, that's probably the biggest thing.
Mhm.
Like we'll go out of our way to help someone in need, or at least most of us will. There are those select few people.
Or are you
that-
just talking about like Canada's involvement with like NATO and the UN?
things like that, yeah, as well,
Yeah.
yeah. But even like just the individual person, like even if you're like a homeless person, somebody will help you in Canada.
Yeah.
It's so much different than the States, or really anywhere else in the world. Number 2, what else do we have? I mean, pretty much our silliness, our the fact that we can take serious situations, keep them serious, but we can always add a little twist on them. Like this is a couple years ago now, but in the Parliament they were voting on bills and stuff like that, and one of the MPs was talking about what our zombie plan is. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So he was like, "Do we have a zombie preparedness plan?" So it's like you're taking that whole setting. It's like, you know, you're making rules for the whole country, but you can always have that little
That
you know,
humor,
silly
yeah.
that humor, that you know, distinct Canadian humor. And you're just like, you know, are we prepared for when the zombies attack? And I thought that was, you know, something that we can do that I don't think anywhere else in the world can pull off, because everywhere else in the world is way too serious about everything.
Yeah.
Number 3. Is there a number 3? Can there really be a number 3?
I've got 3.
You have 3?
Already.
I mean,
What about you, Eric the immigrant? We'll come back to Rizal.
Oh yes, you're asking for the immigrant.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. No, it's almost same along lines of what was I was saying was how Canada is known to be a peaceful country across the world. I mean, the involvement in the
They're accepting of
both wars.
everybody too, I guess, right?
Yeah, the involvement in NATO and other countries. Number 2, the amount of comedians that have come out of Canada.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of, I guess, like art and music
Yeah.
and,
A lot of influential
and
people.
acting.
is,
There's
yeah.
a lot of
Well, it's pretty much, I guess, stemming from the British influence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
And I guess number 3 would be donuts.
Donuts.
Fair enough.
Those Tim Hortons donuts. Yeah. I feel like my number 3 would be, this is where my parents chose to live, and that's, you know, that's something.
this town of all places.
This town of all places, yeah.
Oh.
This one horse town. But no, I think that's a legitimate thing to say, because
Freedom.
not even just freedom, but it's just they looked at everywhere. Like, they could have gone anywhere in the world. Like, they could have gone to Europe, they could have gone to the United States. You know, they could have gone
Back
to
to-
South America.
They could have just stayed.
They
in
could
their
have
own
stayed
country.
they could have stayed in the motherland, or
Yeah.
they could have, like, gone to Africa, like South Africa or something like that. But they made the conscious decision to move to Canada, and I think that's a legitimate claim, because
I think knowing your parents for almost basically the same amount of time of knowing you is, instead of like living in Fiji where your entire family is, you have to go to New Zealand or Australia. That's
Exactly,
That's
yeah.
if you stayed in that little pocket of the world. Right?
Yeah,
you
and
would
that's-
have moved to New
Yeah.
Zealand or probably Australia,
Exactly.
which would be a little bit better than the circumstances there.
yeah. But, like, yeah, my mom's side is basically all in, or her sisters are all in Australia. So her 2 brothers are up
Which is
here.
down the road.
Exactly,
quote
yeah.
unquote, right.
Yeah, but they made the conscious decision to move to Canada and raise their family here.
You
And
got
I
to
think-
stay at West Coast too instead of moving to the East, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, they could have. They came from the motherland. They went to BC, and they could have stayed there, but they moved all the way to Ontario, with basically no one was,
Yeah.
and they laid down their roots here, and that's why.
I mean, your house is pretty kick-ass.
Yeah.
It is a pretty kick-ass house for where it is.
But that would be my number 3.
All right, fair enough. For my 3, we're gonna start with this most narcissistic thing on the planet called roll up the rim that burns the pocket.
Burns money. Wait, burns a hole in your pocket?
No, burns the pocket
burns the
because
pocket.
there's a hole that creates from the burning sensation of the pocket, and it brings the country together because it's literally like crack and playing the lottery.
Yeah, it's cardboard crack. Yeah.
It's literally cardboard crack. Like, roll up is the most genius marketing idea
Roll up, and
ever.
It is probably one of the most Canadian things ever too.
I think this is going to be my number. This originally isn't my number 1, but I'm going to bump it down to my number 2 idea because I thought of when I learned about this in history class, I was dying of laughter because it was like, we are the most passive country in the world, and if we did this now, we would get shit on. So my number 2 is Canada burning the White House.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's
In the
good.
1800s, in that war, where Canada went into the United States and burnt down the White House. So if you remove the paint of the White House, it is actually charred
Well,
because they couldn't read. But my number 1 spot is Tragic Man.
Yeah.
That's probably the most Canadian band And one of the
It
most,
really is. Yeah.
one of the most successful Canadian bands of all time.
There was
Like it was at George Strombo's house when he did his web thing. He was interviewing Rush, and there's that like
Yeah.
they are the greatest Canadian band of all time.
But even Rush, like Geddy Lee said that they were the greatest band of all time, but they're definitely not the most Canadian. I'm like, that's because Rush is Rush. Rush has been around for 40 years, right? But they're notable everywhere.
But like
they're-
Neil Young is probably one of the most Canadian people.
Neil Young.
Neil
has the
Young lives
biggest
in the States.
influence.
But
Neil
he
Young
was
has
in the
biggest-
same like when Randy Bachman and all those guys were starting up.
Yeah.
Neil Young was on the other side of like the town, right? But
Yeah.
now, but all
But
those
he
guys,
lives-
those guys live in the States
Well, a
now
lot of
because
them
that's
do.
where you go if you want to be successful
Yeah.
for music, right?
And it does suck, but I mean, like, yeah, that's tragically hip didn't do that. They didn't get that kind of exposure in the States, but they've still done so well for themselves, being a national band,
Yeah.
basically being a national.
I think what is it? They had like what 5 or 10 years running where somewhere in Canada they played a Canada Day.
Yeah,
I mean, that'd be the coolest thing ever if they just did a surprise show in Ottawa this year.
yeah,
for the
yeah.
150.
I mean, it probably could happen, but you never.
I don't know what it's like. What 10 o'clock in the morning? So we still got time before they start doing all the festivities in the afternoon. So we never know.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives me an excuse, I guess, to drink
Of course.
in the morning, the most American beer possible. That's
Well, I mean, it's not
non-alcoholic because Eric let us down. And in closing, favorite Canadians or favorite Canadian?
For me this time, I'm gonna say Chris Hadfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a cool Canadian.
Great representation for the country, but mostly because I'm absolutely jealous.
That he got to go in space. I think everybody's jealous that he got to go in space.
Apparently
There's only been a handful of people that have been able to see the world through their perspective.
Yeah.
Once in a
and
lifetime,
that is
right?
amazing. Yeah,
Once
it's
in a lifetime.
absolutely amazing.
You?
Hold on. There was something. I'm just thinking of something.
While you look that up, for me, George Strombo's always been one of my favorite Canadians. Just a fantastic person all around when it comes to like his Strombo show and even his radio show. Don Cherry is another iconic one.
Yeah.
Kind of growing up, always watching Hockey Night in Canadies there. Terry Fox, Rick Mercer, Jim Carrey, but I think one that kind of glued to me for introducing me to Canadian comedy was Steve Smith, Red Green.
That's a classic.
Yeah.
And apparently Rizal is Googling his favorite.
I'm googling his name because I don't
It's
remember his
it's
name.
There's not that much of a favorite.
Graham Greene.
Graham Greene.
He played Edgar
Yeah.
the Explosive Expert.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's mine. Yeah, that's my Canadian.
I think I remember watching it, and we're like on the way here. We were talking about the like our favorite Red Green. I don't know how we start on the topic with our favorite Red Green moments, but the one that I wanted to share was the Christmas special that I first saw after Mr. Bean's Christmas. Was when he's playing Silent Night, but with the fireworks, and it wasn't silent whatsoever.
Yes.
It was one of my favorite things ever that he did.
Yeah.
Silent Night, but with all the explosives behind him.
No, but like there's like maybe like a handful of Aboriginal Canadian actors, but I think that Graham Greene,
He's the most iconic.
he's the most iconic. He's the most well known.
I think he's the most successful and the most like he kind of, I guess, I'm not too sure, but from my perspective, that he kind of, I guess, made that gateway and pushed. Pushed it onto
he
the
pushed.
scene,
Yeah,
right?
he
that we know of. But again,
well, that's the thing, because out of all of like the Aboriginal Canadian actors, there's only been like maybe 3 or 4 that have broken out into like mainstream Canadian theater and even
mainstream TV, and
TV.
even American TV.
Yeah, even like Hollywood and things like that. And Graham Greene has been in some movies, like Hollywood movies as well. But he's always kept, he's always had so much respect for Canada. He's always kept it Canadian, and like he's just the most iconic, respected Aboriginal Canadian actor
that we know of.
That we know of, yeah. Well, at least the notable, notable Canadians, I think that Graham Greene probably
Hilarious, tremendous, fantastic actor.
Oh yeah, yeah. He's an incredible writer. What's your least favorite Canadian, Eric?
So for me, that would be Justin Bieber.
Bieber.
Testify.
Sir.
Yeah.
What an ass.
Yeah, that's true. He is.
I probably understand he probably went through the stages through the teenage years being rich. I know that always
Yeah.
has a negative effect on a lot of child actors. And
Money changes people.
And
To be
money
honest.
does a lot of things, but it doesn't look like he's going to bounce back.
No, not at all. His father's an asshole as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, his father's the exact same way.
His mother's living here in Canada, and
Yeah.
he's down in the States all the time.
His estranged mother.
I don't
That's
understand.
what it is. It's
a
ridiculous.
hot mess.
To be honest, I forgot he was Canadian.
Yeah, it's like the Canadians want him to keep him out, but then the Americans want to send him back.
Yeah.
My least favorite Canadian, can you keep this short and sweet? Celine Dion.
Yeah.
Didn't you say it already?
No, he said
No.
someone. Did you even have?
Yeah, you did.
No,
You went
that's
through a
my
bunch of
least
people.
favorite is Celine
Fair
Dion.
enough.
No, I said those were some of my favorites because there's so many to choose from.
Oh,
But Celine Dion is my least favorite Canadian. So,
only because she's French.
we're not going to touch that with a 10-foot pole, Eric.
Yeah, no, you just don't like French people. We're sorry, French people.
There's
They're
French
like,
people and
I
French
don't care.
Canadians, and there's Quebecans.
That's pretty true. Well, French Canadians and Quebecers.
I do like Montreal. It's probably one of my favorite Canadian cities.
Montreal is a
It
great
is
city.
amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We are out of time for today.
Yes.
thanks for sticking around and listening to us ramble. Hopefully you learned something today from our rambling.
Fully ramblematic.
Thanks for sticking by. We're glad to be back. Hope you're excited that we're back as well.
Yeah. So this is the beginning of season 2. This is going to be the beginning of something special.
It's going to be
Don't
bigger.
hype it up too much. You're just going to disappoint them.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
going to
true.
be bigger and badder and as crazy as Rizal's hat. I don't know where he got it. Probably at the dollar store.
Colorado.
It was there's probably some sort of lead paint in here.
And you're probably going to
You're
get
gonna
lice.
Anyways, okay, so that's pretty much what we have for this episode of Dudes with Mics.
Happy 150 to Canada, and we'll see you in the next 150 years in that episode.
Happy Canada Day.
Happy Canada Day.
I'm an idiot. I am such an idiot. This video's gonna go